Ternyata beliaunya masih ingat. Ya, alhamdulillah.
Bu Aziza punya jurus jitu kok Bu Aziza.
Berkesan
untuk mengingatkan orang itu.
Iya. Makanya aku tak apa videonya tak anu, ayo coba open videonya jadi. Ayah. Iya, begitulah. Orangnya friendly, grafia. Sering tak guyoni, gelem tak undang nang Indonesia tapi gratisan. Oh ya mau. Terus akhirnya ketemu ini.
Akhirnya bisa ya.
Iya, bisa.
Sebenarnya rencananya itu mau dipakai jang profesor, Bu Santi.
Terus kenapa
ini sebenarnya kemarin itu waktu kita menghubungi waktu audiensi itu mau kita gunakan sebagai jang profesor, tetapi beliaunya enggak mau, soalnya terlalu pepet waktunya. Akhirnya ketemu yang jang profesornya ketemu Pak Alif itu yang sedia, alhamdulillah.
Intinya orangnya itu perfect banget. Jadi dia orang Jepang ya, yang harus disiplin super hiper tinggi. Jadi ya kita bisa menemukan orang yang kasarannya high class lah ya, ini saya bilang. Orang yang tuh motonya api, etikanya bagus, sehingga dia nggak mau sembarangan dalam
nggak mau sembarangan ya, jadi
harus sembarangan. Tapi sudah alhamdulillah ketemu Prof. Talib, beliaunya friendly, dia mau memahami kekurangan orang Indonesia, ya sudah saya mau. Jadi imbang lah, ini balance. Saya bilang para speaker kita itu saling mengisi, alhamdulillah.
Iya.
Ada yang fight tinggi ya, istilahnya orang-orang yang disiplin tinggi ada orang-orang yang memahami kondisi Indonesia ada, imbang.
Ini suara saya kedengaran ya?
Oh, terdengar sekali Ibu Dekan.
Enggak, soalnya kadang-kadang ada yang enggak kedengeran loh, padahal aku wis bengok cedek Yohan. Tapi gitu ya.
Terdengar sekali, alhamdulillah.
Nggih, turun. Ini partisipannya dari mana aja, Bu?
Ini dari mana? Sementara
dan terus ini juga dari praktisi, enggak ya?
Insya Allah dari
student aja ya.
Student dari luar juga ada.
Ya.
Dari
studentnya Prof. Sibata juga.
Studentnya Prof. Sibata kayaknya kelupaan Ibu Lili.
Ya, kita kelupaan untuk minta ya.
Kelupaan ya, Mbak Zida yang IO-nya Mbak Zida kalau Prof. Sibata.
PIC-nya.
Zida kemarin diminta kan? Karena aku enggak punya WA dan enggak minta soalnya.
Oh enggak, Bu. Saya nggak tahu kalau harus undang studentnya beliau, jadi saya nggak minta beliau untuk.
Iya, memang kita memahami Mbak Zida, kita kan seperti orang kejar-kejaran estafet ya. Kegiatan kita itu nggak mandek-mandek. Seminggu 3 kali, 4 kali. Ya. Ditumpuk dengan kegiatan lain. Iya.
Banyak sekali kegiatan memang. Alhamdulillah ya toh.
Ya, alhamdulillah. Dan mahasiswa juga alhamdulillah mereka manut-manut karena dalam arti kita bina itu mau jadi mendukung dalam pembuatan artikel, sebagian dari skripsi, sebagian dari tugas, dan insya Allah sudah 10 mahasiswa yang sudah submit di Santi yang ke MDMHS.
Alhamdulillah.
Ya, terus yang ke Environmental Engineering Research itu 5 orang apa 4 ya. Nah itu sudah submit. Tinggal menunggu saya butuh masuk katanya Prof. Kamala. Tunggu ya Bu Aziza, saya butuh masuk. Oh iya. Saya kasih masuk. Halo, Prof. Sibata. Good morning. How are you today?
Selamat pagi.
Oh, selamat pagi. Handsome sekali pagi ini, pink.
Di sana malam, Bu Aziza.
Oh iya, sorry. Good night, mau tidur ya. Sudah malam di Amerika.
Dekan kita Dekan kita Bu Santi.
Maidin, Prof. Sibata.
Yes.
Aidin.
Hello,
Dr.
good
Santi
morning.
Martini. Maidin.
Hello, good morning, Prof. Sibata.
Good morning.
Yes.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, we hope also always healthy.
Yeah, hopefully, everyone is healthy there and
Yeah.
safe from coronavirus.
Yeah. How about the COVID-19 in Illinois? Illinois. Your city.
We get, it's not so good, but as you know, US is failing this time. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're kind of embarrassed.
Yeah. So the number is increasing still.
Yeah, last couple of years, I predicted, coronavirus would, cause a pandemic. Even I gave the lecture in my class, that, coronavirus could be more pandemic than other, virus. So kind of, I knew it. Yeah.
Yeah, we still in Indonesia we're still struggling to contain the pandemic because the number is increasing. The number every day is it's about 4,000 something now since last month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, The WHO predict the pandemic will end in 2021.
Yeah, it will last for long, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, but yesterday we have a webinar from what we call National Planning Board. Yeah. They invite the scientists from Faculty of Public Health, University of Indonesia.
Yeah.
They have a prediction model.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Indonesia, the pandemic will end in 2022.
Oh, okay, 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's very very scary, and I don't know.
It will be not realistic. It's very difficult to predict because of the, as you know, epic curve is different.
Yeah.
And then we don't know if vaccine is going to be available, and also, it's not just exponential growth. We have other options. Yeah, so prediction could be difficult.
Yeah.
I'm curious about how they come up with the model. I need to know the equation.
Oh, yeah. But the problem is about the data, I think, in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Because we have a problem with the capacity of examination. Yeah. Still in March until now.
Yeah,
yeah.
but then.
But now the situation is getting better about the capacity of the laboratory examination. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Prof. Sibata. In chat, you can download virtual background maybe. Input in your virtual background. In chat, you can download.
Oh, okay. So I can change my background.
Okay.
In the chat. I usually use Microsoft Teams, so I don't much use Zoom. So I don't know where I can change the background.
In chat, you can download.
In the chat room?
Image, yes. In chat room.
Okay.
In chat room, you can download what's image. Okay. And then.
Maybe this one. Okay. And then.
And then download.
What?
And take it. And put in your.
Click your camera option, Professor, and then there is an option to change your virtual background.
Okay, camera
in the
option?
corner. Yes.
Okay.
It's in the left corner in the bottom.
Left corner? Okay. Bottom. Okay. There's a
Yes.
camera.
Yeah, there is an option there. You can choose to
A
change
video
the
setting.
background. Yes, and change the
Oh,
virtual background.
I see that. I think this one. Okay. Background.
Yeah.
And then.
Have you found it?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. And
then background filter.
And
Background plus.
Add the image into your background.
Add image.
Okay.
Add image and take it.
So that this is not. I see the cartoon, not this one. So, oh, filter. Okay. Download. It's not
Just
changing.
virtual background. Choose your virtual background instead of video filter.
I'm sorry?
Choose virtual background.
Filter background. Okay.
Yeah. And add the image that already sent to you.
Okay.
Yeah. And
But I cannot download that filter. Well. No. I see that's something different. Video setting, background filter, visual.
not video setting, but choose virtual background.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it is available directly when you open the video.
Okay, I see. I think this one. Okay, so
yeah.
Background download. Oh, something different.
Just the picture that we sent. Yeah, that's correct.
It looks like my face is disappearing.
Yeah, it is the same as mine because every computer has their own settings, so sometimes it's not applied in each computer. It's normal.
So maybe this is not better. So maybe I can just use without the, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, look like my computer is not good for Zoom for the visual. Okay, so
belakangnya harus tembok, Mbak Zida.
Yeah, it's better not to use.
Yeah, it is better not to use.
You can see my face, right?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Good looking guy, no?
Yeah. We can start it now.
Ya, mungkin bisa dimulai.
Ya, bisa. Ya, bisa dimulai.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Alhamdulillah, puji syukur kita panjatkan karena berkat rahmat Allah Subhanahu wa taala, kita bisa berkumpul bersama menimba ilmu bersama narasumber kita yang dilaksanakan secara daring. Semoga kita senantiasa selalu dalam kondisi sehat dan selalu dalam perlindungan Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Acara ini merupakan acara guest lecture yang diselenggarakan oleh Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan bekerjasama dengan program studi Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Erlangga dan Jurnal Kesehatan Lingkungan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Erlangga akreditasi Sinta 2.
Kami ucapkan selamat datang para peserta dan selamat bergabung di acara guest lecture pada pagi hari ini yang mengusung tema Scientific Writing and Publication Strategy in High Reputable International Journal. Sebelum memulai acara, izinkan kami memperkenalkan diri lebih dahulu. Nama saya Novidian Arfiani dan rekan saya Isnaini Rahmawati. Kami mahasiswa Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan FKM Universitas Erlangga. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu yang telah hadir pada acara guest lecture hari ini. Selamat datang dan selamat pagi kami ucapkan kepada yang terhormat Ibu Dr. Santi Martini Dr. MKes, Dekan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Erlangga, kepada yang terhormat Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lili Sulistiorini MKes, Ketua Panitia dan Ketua Departemen Kesling FKM Universitas Erlangga, kepada yang terhormat Ibu Dr. R. Aziza SHMKes, KPS Magister Kesehatan Lingkungan FKM Universitas Erlangga, kepada yang terhormat Bapak Profesor Tomoyuki Shibata sebagai narasumber hari ini dari College of Health and Human Science Northern Illinois University USA, kepada yang terhormat para guru besar dan ibu bapak dosen di Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Erlangga.
Baiklah, sebelum memulai acara, saya akan membacakan susunan acara guest lecture pada hari ini. Acara pertama yakni menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya. Acara kedua sambutan sekaligus pembukaan acara guest lecture secara resmi oleh Ibu Dekan. Acara ketiga yaitu pemaparan materi oleh narasumber sekaligus diskusi dan tanya jawab yang dipandu oleh moderator Ibu Sida Husmina SKM MPH. Dan acara keempat yaitu penyerahan sertifikat oleh Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lili Sulistiorini MKes kepada Prof. Tomoyuki Shibata. Dan acara keempat terakhir, kelima, penutup dan pembacaan doa. Untuk mengefisiensi waktu, langsung saja kita masuk pada acara pertama, yakni menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya. Untuk yang bertugas kepada rekan kami, Rialdin SKM, dipersilahkan.
memasuki agenda selanjutnya, yaitu sambutan oleh Ibu Dekan FKM UNER. Kami persilakan kepada Ibu Dekan Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga, Ibu Dr. Santi Martini Dr. MKes, untuk memberi sambutan sekaligus membuka acara guest lecture pada pagi hari ini.
Ya, terima kasih Mbak Novi. Thank you very much for Novi. Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our honorable speaker, Professor Tomoyuki Shibata.
Good morning.
From Illinois University, Chicago, USA. Welcome to our campus, Universitas Airlangga. Welcome to Surabaya, although virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if the pandemic ended, you can come to our
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, come to Surabaya. It is very nice to meet you. Thank you for responding our invitation. We are so honored to have you today. Good morning to our honorable lecturer, Professor Mukono, Professor Sujayadi, Professor Riri, Dr. Lili, Dr. Aziza, and all members of the Department of Environmental Health and also from Faculty of Public Health, and also the participants from our university, Universitas Airlangga, and also the participant coming from our partner in Indonesia, other university in Indonesia who are attending today's class. First of all, I would like to convey our gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala Almighty, who continuously blesses us with health, well-being, and happiness. Thank you to Department of Environmental Health, the head of department, Dr. Lilis, and also the master program of environmental health. The head of the program is Dr. Aziza, and also the Jurnal Kesehatan Lingkungan. As we know, Jurnal Kesehatan Lingkungan indexed by SINTA. SINTA is national index in Indonesia, for arranging this interesting event. This event is highly important as it provides good opportunity to our students as well as our lecturers and researchers to learn about how to make high quality scientific writing and how to make it ready for publication in decent international journal. As we know that we have in our university to push the student and also the lecturer to publish their research into international journal. Scientific writing is a part of academic skill for higher education, student, and for researcher or lecturer. Scientific writing and publication are the way to disseminate and communicate our study finding to the larger international scholars. We will get many constructive feedback to our work, thus it could improve the quality of our research and writing. So scientific publication are also considered as what we call is a brilliant strategy in shaping and distributing ideas to public audience, especially scientific community. Writing an article manuscript is challenging. Sometimes it becomes so painful, especially it's many times rejected from the journal. Yeah, painful and hopeless and maybe depressed. Yeah, but I think, yeah. Moreover, to get published, we have to compare with 1,000 other manuscripts from overseas university. So it is highly crucial to learn about how to prepare qualified writing event even before we start the research. We need to think carefully since the design of the research and then how the method we use, able to answer our study aim or our research question, and until how to write a structured research report. And that's why we are here in this class today to learn from the expert who already have many good research and publication. So it's yeah, thank you so much, Professor Sibata, for sharing your expertise in our staff here and our students. Of course, this I mean, we did not stop our collaboration for only this activity, but we can also develop our collaboration, Prof. Sibata, between you and our staff in Faculty of Public Health, or between your university and our university, Universitas Airlangga, for the next activities such as joint research, because our university provides some funding or support the lecturer to do research. So it's very possible if we can have a joint research with you and also with your staff in University of Illinois. And also we can have a joint publication, and also we can have program mobility such as student mobility or staff mobility, because our university is very supportive for the activity.
That's great.
Yeah, especially for internationally recognition. Yeah. Okay. We need to expand our aims, not only to get high, not only to get for the publication, but we need also for the citation. Yeah, maybe you can give some what we call the tips or strategy how to get the citation for our publication. Yeah. Okay, today we will learn together from our distinguished speaker, Professor Tomoyuki Shibata from Northern Illinois University, and also the co-founder of Global Environmental Health Laboratory. So I think it's interesting, Professor Shibata, because we have Department of Environmental Health, and also we have a master program of environmental health. And now we get in the final step in creating the double degree program with the University of Putra Malaysia. So I think it's very very needed, what we call your support in run this program well. Yeah. Although in the pandemic situation, it's difficult situation, but we still keep our enthusiasm, our spirit to run the program as before pandemic. So although we met virtually, but we hope we can develop the program more in this situation. Yeah. Okay. Finally, I formally open this lecture and hopefully everyone enjoy the class. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih kepada Ibu Dr. Santi Martini, Dr. Enkes atas sambutannya dan membuka acara kita pada pagi hari ini. Diinformasikan kembali kepada semua peserta guest lecture agar mengisi presensi melalui link yang tersedia di room chat dan mematikan mikrofon selama pemaparan materi berlangsung. Baik, selanjutnya kita masuk ke dalam sesi yang sudah ditunggu-tunggu, yaitu pemaparan materi sekaligus diskusi dan tanya jawab oleh narasumber, di mana nanti akan dipandu secara langsung oleh Ibu Zida Hustina, SKM MPH, dosen di Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan, Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Airlangga, selaku moderator. Kepada Ibu Zida Husnina, kami persilahkan untuk langsung memandu pemaparan materi dan diskusi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mbak Isnini. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone in a good health and good condition today. I'm Zida from Department of Environmental Health. I will be moderating today's lectures and discussion with the topic of scientific writing and publication strategy in high reputable international journal. It's already, maybe we already knew that, also explained by Ibu Santi before that. Academic writing and publication is highly important as academic life and also as a researcher, also as a student. It's maybe a bit different with how to conduct the research, because we are already familiar with all the steps of research maybe, but when it comes to write it down in the manuscript, sometimes we get confused about what is the best structure, and also how to make impressive manuscript to attract the reviewer or editor of the journal to accept our manuscript. And today we have very special guest lecturer from quite far country and different continent and different time zone with us, Professor Tomoyuki from the Tomoyuki Shibata. It's already near to midnight there. Thank you very much for coming. Maybe we get curious and want to know about who is Professor Shibata. It would be better if we get to know first about his profile. Let me share his profile first.
Oh, so you have my slide?
Yeah, maybe just
okay.
1 or 2 minutes just for opening. This is the curriculum vitae of Professor Tomoyuki Shibata. He has 2 affiliations from Northern Illinois University Public Health Program, and also as a co-founder for Global Environmental Health Laboratory in Los Angeles. Professor Shibata started education in science in health and hygiene in bachelor degree, and then continue Master of Science in Environmental Health and Safety from University of Miami, and last is obtained Doctor in Philosophy in Civil Engineering, emphasizing in environmental science from University of Miami. Professor Shibata also have many professional experiences, and the last position was as associate professor. And also there are many honors and awards. It's very interesting. Most of them coming from US and Japan, and many of news and recognition too. And I know from the CV there are 29 peer-reviewed journals, and also that we found conference proceeding, and many others achievement is very amazing, and it motivates us to dedicate our science to be like you, Professor. And the interesting from your CV, I saw that you also have experience as reviewers from many high or top tier journal. I saw you as a reviewer for this one. This one, Professor Shibata as reviewer for Bulletin of World Health Organization journal, and also Environmental Science and Technology, Science of the Total Environment, Journal of Applied Microbiology, and yeah, there are 12 journal with Professor Shibata as reviewer. It's interesting because we can see different perspective. Maybe we used to be as a writer, as author of this article, but now we can have we can learn from the experience as reviewer from Professor Shibata. Professor Shibata also as a lecturer and taught some some major like elements of environmental health, public health epidemiology, water quality, problem and issue environmental health, which is closely related with our courses too, Professor. Okay, I think that's all about Professor Sibata profile. We can continue and get started the class. Okay, please, Professor Sibata, the screen is yours.
Okay, so I can share my screen, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes, we can see
Yeah.
it. But yeah.
You see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it, but would you mind to make it larger, to make it bigger? The full screen, maybe?
Okay, 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 I do it again.
Dia kayaknya sudah larger.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it is okay, Prof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's clear enough for us.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. How about this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for great introduction. It is my pleasure to be here, and I'm so happy to discuss with you. And then this is not the lecture. So please ask me question and stop me if you have any question. Okay. So this is not just one way. We want to have a good conversation too. Okay. So title I didn't make. So you gave me title. The title of my presentation is Scientific Writing and Publication Strategy in High Reputable International Journal. That's you want me to talk, right? So that's hopefully I can talk. Again, my affiliation is currently co-found the Global Environment Health Lab. So before talking about main topics, this is the first time to talk with you, most of you. So I wanted to get to know me, and I'd like to get to know you too. So starting from my introduction, followed by target that's you want to do, publishing an article in high reputable journal, and the two strategy I'm going to cover. How do you write manuscript, and then what kind of a project design would be good for publication. Okay. Okay. So can you find me? So this is a picture Dr. Aziza sent me, last month, and then I was so, happy as well as shocked. And then what? So this was, 6 years ago, when I was, a primary member for a U.S. Indonesia, partnership program. So I was representing, NIU as well as other 5 universities in the United States. And then Dr. Aziza is, of course, representing Erlangen University, and there are the 5 universities there, right? So we met, in this conference, and then I'm sorry, Dr. Aziza, I totally forgot about you, but then, thank you for not forgetting about me. And I'm so happy to get email from you. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
Yeah. So as I, as you already saw, I have a interdisciplinary background, including, more focus on human body, that is health and hygiene from bachelor degree. And then next is more environmental health, how environment affect human health. And then that is master degree. Then final degree is environmental engineering. So that is more focusing on the, solution. Once you identify, the issue, air quality or water quality or solid waste, how do we manage to reduce, risk of disease or injury to human health? So I study from human body environment and then engineering. So this is my background. Then, again, I'm also, actually, this is my primary association, the Northern University. I've been working there for past 11 years. Public health department, and I did several courses. And then on the left, you can see some of my citations. So I have a 1,500 citation, and those H index is 21, and I10 index is 27. So that means that not just publishing, but many people are citing article we publish. So that is kind of more a productive, effective way to disseminate your knowledge. Okay, I agree with you that we have to publish, but then the our goal is not publication. Our goal is to help other person, like stakeholder, to use data, use knowledge to make a difference. So we have to talk to those leader. That's I wanted to get out from this session. So I have a different area of expertise and also interest. So one of my area of expertise is quantitative risk assessment. Many people do chemical risk assessment. That is a conventional risk assessment. I also do microbial risk assessment. Okay, so how this is a kind of perfect situation under pandemic. How exposing to microorganism, infectious disease, and the human health, right? And then I also expert in environmental and also exposure assessment. Okay, as you already know, like exposure assessment is part of risk assessment, but sometimes we just focus on the exposure assessment itself instead of all picture of risk assessment. And then those environmental assessment include WASH. WASH stand for water, sanitation, and hygiene. You already know that. And then solid waste and some disaster impact. I have evaluated the impact of Hurricane Katrina in 2005 in the United States, and then impact of tsunami, earthquake and tsunami, and followed by radiation explosion in Japan in 2011. So I investigated those that disaster. I also am expert in epidemiologic approach. So using epidemiologic approach, I evaluate the association between environmental exposure and the potential health risk, and also social and behavioral epidemiology. So different tools are used to investigate our concern, environmental health concern. So I just curious, this one, we don't have a whole time to just, introduce everyone, but I want to just quickly know the major, professor, what's your area of expertise? So I want to know, what's your area of expertise? Can you tell me your area of expertise?
You mean our seniors? Because
yes, you're the professor. Yeah.
Miss Santi, do you want to start it?
Yeah.
Maybe started from our dean.
Yep. Thank you. I'm from epidemiology department, and my area focus in non-communicable disease.
Oh, okay.
And risk factor related to non-communicable disease such as smoking.
Oh.
Yeah, especially in that area. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Good to know that. That is why I'm asking, because I'm trying to find any common interest. speaking of non-communicable disease and tobacco smoking,
Yeah.
I help. Actually, I wrote a grant to help Hasanuddin University to establish a center for tobacco control and non-communicable disease prevention.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the person, Professor Alimin Madin.
Alimin Maidin. I know
Yeah, so
him. Yeah.
he's my best friend.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so
I will talk to Professor Alimin that
yeah.
I met you.
Yes, tell him because I helped him for the actually capacity building many years, and I helped him to establish tobacco control center and the non-tobacco disease.
Yeah.
And then I trained them to conduct tobacco related project.
Yeah.
Right? Thank you.
Okay,
right.
maybe for the next
we can work together.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Prof.
And some other professor.
Actually, we have 3 professors in our department, but unfortunately, they are unable to attend today.
Yeah, senior professor, senior associate professor like Aziza.
Yeah, Bu Aziza, please. What is your expertise, Ibu? What is your field of interest? Masih di mute, Ibu, non sewu.
Yeah, my research focus at the air pollution in ambient air, indoor pollution like that. So many our research with my student, we make it an article about that.
Oh, great! So I'm expert in air pollution too. I used to work in Tokyo to monitor air pollution. And also I work with the Hasanuddin University to evaluate air pollution and the respiratory illness too. So we have publication. Thank you. Other professor? You want to share?
Yes. The next is Ibu Lilis. Ibu Lilis.
Thank you. I publish on waste management, Professor Sibata, waste management, water supply.
Anything else, Ibu? Ada yang lain, Bu? Ada yang lain? Sudah?
Sanitation.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, water and sanitation. Yeah, sanitation.
Yeah, that's wash. That is very important. We have publication about wash too in Indonesia. Right? Nice to know you.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe one more.
There are also 3 professors, as I mentioned before, that Professor Sujayadi concerning in toxicology and biomarkers, but Professor Sujayadi not able to attend today's class because has another commitment for giving lecture. Yeah. And also we have Ibu Retno, I guess. Ibu Retno? Ibu Kusuma. Ibu Kusuma Lestari, Bu Tari, do you want to explain about your expertise and research interest? Maybe, yeah, it's not connected. And so, Professor, we have another professor, Professor Riri, it's concerned about vector control and infectious disease. Yeah, vector control and infectious disease.
Great. So many. And then, so, I don't know if you have it or not, do you have a list of, professor, lecturer, and the area of expertise? Do you have those, summary table? Do you know everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will make it, yeah, we can make it. Actually, from now, still separated, because like everyone
yeah.
keep
so
their OCV.
So it's good for you to have a kind of table, so you can actually look around your fellow colleagues, what the area of expertise, and what kind of project they have been doing, and the student. And then I have a question for you, Professor. I know that, some university in Indonesia, all are different. For example, Hassan University, master student can, choose, professor. But then for example, other university like, Institute of Technology Bandung, kind of they assign student to professor because, just to, student divided by faculty and the professor, and then each faculty has the same number of student. So my question for you is how student can find, professor or professor find the student for master thesis?
Actually, it is based on the decision from the department, I guess. Betul seperti itu ya Bu Lilis, Bu Aziza. Bagaimana untuk menentukan supervisor atau pembimbingnya? Apakah berdasarkan atau mahasiswa bisa memilih atau kita yang menentukan?
Mixed method, Prof. Sibata.
Yeah.
Mixed method is this. This mean my student. They make a title about the thesis, and then we discuss about the thesis, and student can choose lecturer for advice about the title thesis, and then we can choose and from lecturer. It's 50-50. Not only from student, not only from lecturer. This is our discuss in the class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
okay, that's just good to know. Okay, so that is I ask you you guys and send me not from NIU but also my global environment health lab. Because our organization this is a non-profit organization or NGO. Establishing just 5 years ago to promote more like safe environment and promoting more research beyond the university, beyond the country. So as a NIU professor, I just teach a student at NIU. I don't have to teach you, but then because of this NGO, I can work with you. And then the map on the left. So these are our member and also research site. So we have a member from all over the world, and then we conduct project in different countries, including Southeast Asia, like Indonesia or Myanmar. So yeah, this is our our international team and project. So we are people from all over the world, so like working together to improve scientific base for environmental health decision making. And then you are in environmental health, you know about the SDG. So we are promoting SDG beyond the university setting. And then environment health should look at this, not this. Okay, this is just too vague. So concept of environment health is everything affecting human health. So for us, from social factor, from like poverty or education, maternal health, to climate change, work environment, everything is environment that affect human health. So we consider all 16 or 17 goals as a potential risk factors that affect the human health. That is SDG 3. So this is an important framework we want to promote as an environment health professional. So we do a lot of research workshop in other countries. So this is Myanmar. We are conducting many research workshop for SDG, promoting SDG. And then so this is a couple years ago, at the ITB, ITB. we hosted the many different university in Java to kind of make sure all university in environment health can support or teach sustainable development. I don't know if Ayalanga University came to this workshop, but we hosted the workshop for that actually professor who teach environmental health. So we do a lot of research from child health to maternal health, and also vector-borne disease, coal mine, gold mine, petroleum extraction site. So many different, and tobacco smoking. We do different type of research. And also we help local student, local professor to improve their capacity, research capacity. Okay, so now that was my introduction, but then now this is from a main topic. So you want me to talk about how do you publish at the higher reputable journal. So that's we want to start discussing. That is a target you want to achieve, right? So this just the page you are looking at, this is my first paper published in 2004, but then actually this is the highest impact. And this paper was published in Water Research. This is very high reputable journal. Okay, so question for you. Why do you want to publish your article in reputable journal? Why you want to publish your article in high reputable journal? Why?
Maybe for a short time, maybe we can get more citation, but also another benefit that we can get better feedbacks from the reviewers, I guess.
Absolutely, those reputable journal people more looking at, so you may actually disseminate more knowledge and people can look at it. That is the clue, okay? Okay, next question. How do you know FITZ journals are high reputable?
Maybe participant from master student. Silakan Mbak Mas. Atau dari mahasiswa. I'm asking the student to answer.
Yeah.
Because I believe that they already knew actually.
I hope so.
Silakan.
I'm sorry. Please to Mr. Arif Jauhari, Mbak.
Oh yeah, I just read from the chat. This is an answer from Mr. Arif Jauhari to inform and to make progress of my research so far from the web SGMR.
Oh, okay.
So we know the quality, yeah, SGMR.
Okay, so use SGMR. Okay.
Iya, ada jawaban yang lain? Silakan Bapak Ibu. Monggo.
Ada Bu.
Iya, silakan Bapak. Monggo.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
So,
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Professor. So far, if should I make my video? Okay.
Yeah, it's up to you, Pak.
So far, if I make a research, actually I am working in the state-owned university in Jakarta, and it is a mandatory order from the government that if we make a research, we should publish the research to the reputable journal. Usually, so far we inform from the SGMR. Is it right? Because as we know that we do not want to be entered to the what we call as the predator journal.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you for it. Yeah, that's I get email all the time.
How to make like that?
Yes, that's true. Okay, so you got those idea and you know the SJR. Okay, so since you talked about SJR,
Thank you, Pak Arif.
Pak Arif, from institution Dr. Arif Johari from
Poltekkes Kemenkes Jakarta.
Thank you. From Jakarta, this is Dr.
From
Arif
Hal
Johari.
Polytechnic.
He is our student too.
Jakarta Hal Polytechnic.
Okay, so you guys know about the SJR, but then I just wanted to know that SJR is not only indicator to talk about, reputable journal. There's another way that's called impact factors.
Oh,
okay?
impact factor, is that okay?
Yeah, so I wanted to know that, there are two different ways to calculate. So starting from the impact factor, that is purely based on the number of citation. So more people cite, the paper increase, impact factor. So very contribution. And then SJR, it's not based on the number of citation. It's, it's how much, how many journal from a high reputable journal, prestigious journal, like, Nature or Science, cite your journal. So it's very weighted value. So let's say you got the one citation from regular journal, and then let's say 10 citation from a regular journal, normal journal. But then if you get the one citation from those the top journal like Nature, SJR value more. So it's very based on the FITZ journal cited your the paper. So it's a weighted average. Okay, so it's sometimes good, sometimes not good. So that's why I wanted to show you the strengths and weakness or advantage of the those two different indicator. First, SJR. SJR is good because you can actually compare different journal, different field. So compensate for different field type of article. So let's say chemistry and let's say art, those are totally different, but then they somehow compensate. So you can compare. But then so that's having said that, weakness of impact factor. So impact factor weakness is not able to compare different type of research. So actually weakness of impact factor is strength of SJR. Okay. Then now SJR has also weakness. We don't know how many citations they get. It's not clear about citation number for SJR. Just they rely on the famous journal. But impact factor, they rely on the citation. So which one is more important? Even famous paper cited or famous journal cited your paper. But then if 100 paper cited to you, so which one is important? It's hard to say. So I want you to look at the both number. I just don't want to trust only SJR or impact factor. So because both are equally important parameters. Okay.
Yeah. Beside according to the SGR list and also inform from the impact factor, I also use the the journal that managed by the professional association. abroad. Usually, some international professional organization, there has a journal.
Yes.
So I submit my progress research to that journal also.
Yeah, that is important. So it should have impact factor, but those are not high, SJR, right?
Oh,
Those
yeah,
conference
that's
so
right.
they don't much value your contribution.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes it's not good. So you need to think about just because SJR is lower, that doesn't mean the paper is bad.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Professor.
You're welcome. Okay, so that's why I just show you the different like journal. Like let's say everyone know Nature, right? That is a top journal for us. Impact factor 42, and the SJR is 14 point. Okay, I submitted to a manuscript to Nature, rejected. So I couldn't say. Right.
Rejected, it doesn't mean that your paper is bad.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
It's only do not receive by the auditor.
Yeah. So science again. This is kind of as high as Nature, or kind of equal. For impact factor 42 and the SGL 13. I submitted my manuscript. It's been rejected. Yeah. So we always aim for high first, as high as possible, and then if you are rejected, lower, lower, lower.
Even for a professor, the paper is still rejected.
all time. I have a project, actually still rejected. One of the paper working with, working on those tobacco control related to tobacco and the cancer, already rejected by 5 journals.
Okay. Japanese people say "gambare yo."
Thank you. Okay, so now you find that SJR and impact factor, and then SJR has a good function too. This is a website. If you go to SJR website, you can search search by category. Okay, so like I just chose public health, environmental, and occupational health. Then SJR can select those relevant journal for you. So this is a very useful tool. I recommend you to use it. Okay, and then from this, they say because we are in public health, we are in environmental health. So top is showing the environmental health perspective. Okay, so this is actually great journal. So then so this impact factor is 8.4, SJR is 2.7. Okay, I have submitted the manuscript, have been rejected. So like so far, those good journal I showed you, I've been rejected too. Okay, so that's point I'm trying to say is it's very common. I think Professor Santi mentioned that she's been like depressed by being rejected. Yes, we are getting rejected all time, and it's very common. Right. So then, just because you are in public health or our environment health, you shouldn't just use this the category. Okay, you can change category. Okay, so I just change category to environmental engineering. Okay, you may say, oh, I'm not engineer, I'm just public health, I'm health science, I'm toxicology. You may say that, but then if you look at the paper at like water research, okay, and the science of total environment, that's public health, environment health can submit. Okay, so do not be afraid to change category. You can find the category. Okay. So then, you see the water research and the science of total environment. So then, so these are just the example of, my publication. And then, fortunately, I have a, publication in water research and also science of environmental, technology, waste management and others. So these have a, a good impact factor too. Okay, so those impact factor, I didn't show the SJR because, it's kind of hard to find every citation, the SJR. That is why I recommend you to, sorry. I recommend you to, list up the name of journal you publish. Okay, because when you submit article, okay, when you submit, manuscript, okay, you want to submit the journal which you submit the article before, so they already know you. Okay, or you have submitted your journal before. Okay, he's good. So maybe so editor, the first screen is editor, not the reviewer. Editor look at, he has submitted before, so he's good, so let's look at it. So you got the already kind of good impression you can give. So you want to publish journal to, of course, first is first. You want to submit a good article to, good journal. Once you accept it, you want to keep submitting your article to same or similar article, a journal. So in that case, you can develop your reputation in the journal. Okay, so that's one of my suggestion. So I have submitted to multiple publication in water research, environmental science and technology, science of total environment. I have submitted multiple journal paper there. Okay, so you can actually keep updating your profile, and then you can actually improve your citation too. That's why I have like over 1,500 citation. And then, previously I said that you can use those STR website to identify article. Sorry, but then you can just Google. You can just do literature review. So this is actually a good way. When you conduct research, of course, you have to do literature review and a list of references. And then based on the references, journal, article, so you identify, which one is good for you to publish. And then if you identify those journals, then you can actually search for their impact factors. Okay, so you can find the article based on the literature review, and then make sure that is not the predatory journal. Okay, like you said. So this is task I want to, not right now, but I want you to do in the classroom or in the department or, or college level or faculty level. Okay, so which journal, your, faculty or student have published, and then make a, list SJR, impact factor, and topic, and title, and author. So you have a kind of a track record. Okay, so my team published in this journal, so that we can actually publish again. So I know that you have so many faculty, you don't remember. So I want you to make those lists, okay? And then try to cite those paper, and then, submit to those articles. So this is a, one of the recommendation, right? So this is a, maybe student can do when before submitting their thesis, but also this is job for maybe chair or head of the department or, faculty. You can actually make a kind of survey to your faculty and capture every professor, every lecturer's, past publication information. Then you can see which journal they are doing good, and FITZ journal, you can submit again. Again, keep submitting the article to the same journal. That is one of the good strategy. Do you have any questions so far?
Yeah, Professor.
Yes.
Arif Johari from Poltekkes Jakarta 2. Usually, if we want to submit our scientific paper into the reputable journal, international journal, usually I contact my professor. So I make some consultation of my content, my draft, and then I'm asking them to be the what we call second author.
Oh, okay. I know that kind of custom, or in Indonesia, it doesn't help. So like I know that you want to put your like professor to put in the author. Then you may think that the reviewer think, oh, this is good professor. Okay, so that's not much help. And also, if your professor didn't actually engage in your project, you shouldn't include as an author. You should just put in the acknowledgement. So this is very important, especially junior faculty or student. You shouldn't put the name of your advisor if they are not actually significantly contributing the paper. Like let's say like like you are working, you have a manuscript, and then you feel that you feel obligation to include your head of department or chair. That's actually ethical violation. You cannot do that.
So if someone who are directly involved with the project, it could be the second author.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If it is only for consulting or what we call to make a correction of the text, we could insert into the acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement. That's correct. Okay. Yes. Yeah,
it's suitable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So like now you you know how to find reputable journal, and you should find journal beyond your category, not just public health, not just environmental health. If you can find the journal in environmental study or environmental engineer or risk analysis, so different category you can find. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, and then so do not just look at the SJR. You should also look at the impact factor too. Right now is so strategy. Okay, yeah. Before submitting what you need to do and how do you write the manuscript. Okay, so strategy, good manuscript writing. Okay, so as you saw my CV, I have been reviewer for many top journals. So including water research, science of total environment, and technology, and World Health Organization bulletin. So I have a many experience with reviewer. So I'm going to share reviewer's perspective. When you prepare manuscript, you need to understand how reviewer look at your paper. Okay, when you write a paper, you know everything, but then reviewer don't know. So you need to actually speak to reviewer. You need to write as a reviewer as well as reader's point of view. Okay, so reviewer typically examine the scope of your paper. Okay, each journal has a different scope. Okay, scope is, their focus area, interest of the journal. Okay, let's say if you were, working on the, vector-borne disease, and they, you suddenly want to, submit to the water research, its scope is not matched, right? So you need to make sure paper up, is aligned with the scope of the journal. That is actually first checkpoint. Okay. Next one is quality of data. Okay, quality of data is not just like epidemiological data or number. Okay, data include environmental sample. Okay, and also maybe human specimen. Okay, so those are data. Quality of data coming from like how do you collect, right? Methodology. Okay, are you using standard method? If you are not using standard method, how do we know the method used is accurate? Okay, sometimes standard method is very expensive. Okay, you need to have a very expensive instrument to analyze for water or air quality. You may not have it. So in that case, you need to use alternative method. But then you need to actually justify that the methodology or your alternative methodology is still accurate enough to present data. Okay, so you have to have a quality assurance, quality control. Okay, and then how sample. Okay, is your sample represent the the community or regional environment? Okay, so the sample size. Okay, this is very typical, especially student research, because students have limited capability. So let's say I collected water from point A to point B. You got just 2 points. If that's enough to evaluate water quality in the whole lake. Okay, it's a representation. Okay, quality of data includes representation and generalization. And then I know some of you do the epidemiology. Depending on the sample, significance is different. Okay, if you collect 1,000 people for the survey, the significant value or chi-square value becomes smaller. But then if you have only 100 people sample, the p-value is larger, so it may not show that significance. So power of data, okay, is important. Okay, quality of data coming from not only data collection but also size of data. Okay, that's what we are looking at. Okay, and then once you have a data, how do you analyze? Okay, so data analysis. You don't show the raw data. Okay, you don't say, oh, this one is bigger than this one. That's not science. You have to do statistically evaluate. Okay, and then if you compare mean, okay, you have to show standard deviation. You have to show the t-test value. Okay, so like you have to show the significance of differences, not just this is bigger than this one, right? So statistical analysis is very important. And then for the contribution, okay, contribution, I'm going to go over each later. The contribution, we are looking at the contribution to society beyond academia too. So big picture, right? And then lastly, clear story in English. Okay, that is very important in international journal. Okay, so I'm going to just show you that each by one. Okay. Again, before submitting manuscript, you have to make sure you read author's guide. Okay, author's guide. It shows you the scope of paper. Okay, again, make sure the scope paper is matching with the contents of a paper. Okay, that's very important. Get to know the scientific journal. Okay, just because you want to submit doesn't mean they will like you. You have to like each other. Okay, so here more detail about quality of data. Reliable method, standard or reliable method. Okay, I'm helping many university in Indonesia or Myanmar, Southeast Asia. They don't have those the standard method available. So how we can use alternative method, and how do we assure those method is reliable? You can, and I have published many environmental monitoring data not using standard method because the study site is limited resources. So I publish using alternative method. You can justify use of alternative method, right? And enough data. Okay, this is very tricky for many professor as well as student because collecting data, analyze data, it's not free. Okay, so we need to understand how many is enough. Okay, you don't have to collect more than enough. You just need to collect enough data. Okay, to show the statistical difference. Right, and then everyone should be capable of analyzing data statistics. Question: what kind of software do you use for statistical analysis in your department? Student or professor, what kind of statistical software do you use?
We use SPSS usually, and
Okay.
some of us also already familiar with Stata, and maybe in a small proportion we start using R too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's good to know. So like SPSS is most user friendly, because you just upload Excel to SPSS and you just click select the dependent versus independent. You just show you want to use a t-test, you want to use odds ratio, you can choose it. It's most user friendly. But then you have to purchase. SPS used to be cheap, but it's getting more expensive. I know that some fellow in Indonesia or other country, somehow they just take copy illegally, but that's not we want. I want you to do that, right? And
We'll
then,
be able to buy the original also.
yeah, and then Stata. Stata is getting very popular, and then actually Stata is cheaper than SPS now, because SPSS we like purchase like kind of rent year by 1 year 1 year, but then Stata if you buy it's actually it lasts long. So Stata is but then you need to learn some coding, and then powerful software like SAS. SAS is very powerful, but then it's expensive. Many in university in Indonesia, they don't have SAS. But then I'm glad that Zida mentioned R. R is very powerful, and also it's free. But then it's very you need to know coding everything. So you need to understand how statistics works. But then once you get to know, it's free. Like R is we actually promoting R when I do the workshop, right? But then again, if you can access SPSS, that's fine. And then okay, so quality of assurance, make sure this quality of assurance and control. do you analyze, chemical contaminant or microbial contaminant in your university, college?
To be honest, in our faculty, we don't have such a facility for detecting microbiology, but we have shared facility with another unit in infectious disease, tropical infectious disease department that provide detection method. Maybe Farid, do you have any idea?
Maybe we can ask rector. Maybe you can ask rector to buy next year. So like environment health need to have those instrument. Okay, because measurement is critical. Okay, measurement is critical, and then as you know, we are getting disease because of environmental hazard. So measurement is critical, not just only measuring the situation and the human body, because if you cannot measure air pollution or water pollution, you cannot fix it. Okay, so in the future, you want to actually invest money for purchasing the device to measure air quality, device to measure water quality. I can help you to find out, because actually I was using those instruments measuring air quality in Makassar and other places.
Actually, we do have instrument to measure particulate matters, but it's only for practicum purpose, not for research. We usually use it with students doing the practicum only, but it is not allowed to bring outside. Yeah.
Why?
Because the instrument is only at the moment only 2 or 1 maybe, because we have to make sure it can be used for students for practicum.
Yeah. So I understand that limitation, the infrastructure. But then again, if your university want to actually faculty to publish more in your discipline, and they want to improve, you need a instrument for research, not just the class purpose. Okay, so in order to do so, not just waiting, you can wait for rector to give you money, but also you can write proposal, grant proposal to purchase those instruments too. Okay, those are potential way to get high quality of environmental data, so quality assurance, quality control, and then I'm expert in those analyzing microorganisms as well as chemical. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now, this is very critical, because most of the people don't get it. Okay, especially the people who I'm teaching in Indonesia and Myanmar. So contribution, for example, you collected data, either environmental data or epidemiological data, and you analyze it, and you show that in publication, okay, manuscript, right? And then from a reviewer's point of view, so what? Okay, you show that data, so what? So you said, oh, this is high, so what? So this is actually important for you to understand. Just because you collect data, just because you analyze and they show that some, interesting result, that doesn't mean that people outside the city or outside the academia, they may not be interested in your, data. Okay, you show that result for people, not you, actually, other people who can actually use your data for making decision. Okay, so you need to actually convince your finding can be used for others. Okay, so what? Okay, that's actually always think about. Okay, I got that paper. So what? Okay, so think about third person point of view. So third person point of view is first is contribution to scientific world, like you to the same discipline. Like if you are chemist, that's chemistry. If you are epidemiologist, epidemiology. If you are microbiologist, microbiology. That is a discipline. But then beyond the discipline, like interdisciplinary. My finding from biology can help for, let's say, anatomy. My finding from air pollution can help for epidemiology. So how much you can contribute beyond the discipline. That is important contribution. Okay. And then next is the society. You do research not just for academia. That is useless. You should contribute to the society. Okay. Local government, regional, business or national or international. Think about the people outside your domain, like stakeholder. So think about who can use your data. Okay, that is very important. Okay, let's this is very important. For you to always think about so what, so what. I always said, okay, this is this is a good quality of data, but I would say so what. I cannot use it. No one can use it, your result. So it's useless. Okay, I reject. Okay, and then let's say, you pass like, good to scope, you got the scope, and then good to data, and a good contribution. And then next kind of final point is scientific writing in English. Okay, so I showed you the two different lines. Which one is better story? Okay, so this is very important. I am an Asian like you. Okay, so Asian is kind of a spiral. You don't tell the conclusion. Here and here and here. So from this, reader are already confused. Okay, what do you want to say? What is this? So like picture, the diagram on the left is very confusing and not storyline, and we don't like it. Okay, so you are, for example, Bahasa Indonesia could be okay, but international journal, no, okay. This is good for like, novel or movie, that is okay, or interesting. No, science is 1, 2, 3, 4, straight line. You don't go sideways, straight. Okay. So my life is getting half in Japan and the US already. I left Japan age of 28, and I'm already 51, and so I've been in United States over 20 years. So my way of thinking is kind of 50-50 or 60-40. When I started the PhD, 20 years ago, my mentor said, Shiba, your writing is this. She actually corrected my writing. Scientific writing is straight. Okay. Even professor in Tokyo University, they do that. I correct them. Okay, straight. Okay, so that's I want you to learn how to do that. And then speaking of writing English, you are not native English speakers. Me neither. I'm not the English native speaker, so always has a typo. But then the way you improve is reading more and then working with native speaker, they can help. As long as you have a good contents, we can help. Okay, but then if you don't have a good contents, helping or improving grammar doesn't help. Okay, contents is very important. Straight storyline is important. Okay, I started from strategy 2, that's writing. Okay, but then that's assuming that you have already good contents. But then, as you said, project starting from research design. Even you are an excellent writer, if your design sucks, if design is not good, you are not going to be published. Okay, starting from good research design. The picture you are looking at, this is environmental engineering department at the ITB. So I was a visiting professor there a couple years ago. So I'm helping the lecturer, and this is experiment. Experiment. You can do experiment, and this is coagulation of mosquito larvae. So kind of a mosquito control we are experimenting. So be creative. Okay, so this is practice I want you to do. Okay, even student and professor, before writing a big project, start like write short proposal. Okay, 2-page proposal. That is good enough for the your start. And if you have a good 2-page proposal, it's single space, not double space. Okay, so single space. You can actually think about the detail. Okay, so 2-page out proposal include a specific aim. You have to have a detailed goal of your project, what you want to accomplish, and then followed by project plan, include significance. That is how important your project is to the society. Innovation, how unique your project approach and outcome, right? And then how can you achieve your project aim? Feasibility, right? Then references. Okay, without references you cannot do. So like this 2-page proposal, you can start practicing in your department, right? And then starting from professor. In order for professor to teach student, you have to show this is a 2-page proposal look like. So currently, I've been mentoring many students outside Northern University. I'm mentoring, medical and public health students from University of Miami, public health students from Yale University, Columbia University. So I've been mentoring many their research. So this is I always let them to do 2-page research proposal. Then I can correct what they are doing. Okay,
Prof.
So
Shibata, could
yes.
I interrupt your presentation?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oke, Ibu moderator, saya mohon waktu sebentar. With regard to writing research proposal, I am Haryati from Research Center from the Indonesian House of Representatives. I was just to clarify with your slide writing research proposal, I find no method inside. So
method approach is method.
Yes. Where shall we put it?
Say it again.
Bapak, iya, Bapak Profesor menjelaskan kalau yang dimaksud disebut sebagai approach di sana maksudnya adalah sebagai metode seperti itu.
Can you explain again?
Iya, Bapak boleh diulangi pertanyaannya, Pak Haryadi? Oh yeah, I think it's already disconnected. Maybe yeah.
What was his question?
He didn't find any methods in your proposal.
So
The strategy
approach
for, yeah.
approach is a method.
Yeah.
Approach is a method. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
It's
you.
just a different vocabulary. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The steps. Okay. So you have to think about research topic based on your area of expertise, and then before writing 2-page proposal, like that this is good exercise for student as well as junior professor, like pick a few topics, not just one, because one topic may not be good. So couple of project you think about, okay, based on your interest. Then once you identify your area of interest, area of topics, you conduct literature review, okay, read a journal, okay, read article to understand the significance of topics. Okay, significance is how serious those issue is, like pollution in your town or solid waste, and some infectious disease or any environmental health concern, how serious it is. And then next one is very important, identify knowledge gap. Knowledge gap is the difference between what we know and what we don't know. Research is all about filling knowledge gap. You don't have to invent, electricity. You just need to fill out knowledge gap. What do we know and what we don't know? This is your research filling. Okay, and then once you identify, knowledge gap, then you come up some research question. Okay, come up question. Okay, not objective yet, research question. Then again, do literature review to see any earlier study. Maybe your research question have been already answered by some, uh, article or somebody maybe from your fellow. Okay, so if you have a research question, you do research literature review to answer the research question. And if somebody already answer, okay, move on, next topic. Okay, and then so then once finish the research question, then investigate which research question as well as expected outcome could be unique and useful for the stakeholder. People in government, people in industry, people in some professional setting. So what research is important for those other people? Okay, that's you have to investigate before choosing right topic. Okay, once you do the steps 5, next is choose one research question based on the significance, innovation, and feasibility. Again, significance is how important your project, how unique your project, and then feasibility. Even you have a great research question and innovative, but then if it costs billion rupiah, you may not have money. Okay, feasibility. Even you have a money, but it may take 5 years, but your thesis is just 1 year. It's not feasible. So you need to think about the feasibility too. So based on those three factors, significance, innovation, and feasibility, you determine the goal, objective, and specific aim of research. So those are just steps you want to do before writing your proposal. Okay. And then again, specific aim. So this is again template for the 2-page proposal for your exercise. Specific aim. Like starting from just a big picture, long-term goal. Okay, 1 or 2 sentence. Before jumping to specific aim. Specific aim can be 2 or 3. Right, and then you say aim 1 is to investigate ABC. Aim 2 is investigated XYZ. Okay, and then hypothesis. Okay, any study you want to conduct, you have already hypothesis. Okay, and then without hypothesis, you cannot design the experiment too. Okay, so hypothesis, or another hypothesis, you want to actually list up. Okay, hypothesis could be, this water is contaminated, and if people drink this one, this will cause, diarrhea among the children. So those are hypotheses you want to make it, right? Another hypothesis is no differences, right? And then, summarize, expected outcome, one sentence, and describe impact of research field in one sentence. So these are just a simple, template for your specific aim section. And then just one point, otherwise, when you write a specific aim, don't be overly ambitious. So I mean, don't try to save the world. Okay, don't try to invent everything like new. Okay, you can focus on the something you can achieve. So achievable is very important. And then specific aim as detailed as possible, but not too much detail. Simple is the best. So be brief and specific as possible. Okay, you don't need to write paragraph. You just simply explain. Okay, and then you have an objective, and you have a several or two or three specific aim has to be related, not totally different. Okay, and then your hypothesis has to be testable. Okay, if you cannot test, you cannot evaluate. Okay, it has to be testable. And then significance. Significance is, when you write paper, this will become your, introduction, background information. So significant is actually background, current status of the knowledge, including literature, and they also relevant data. And then problem statement is what's knowledge gap? What do we know? What do we don't know? Because we don't know, we need to do, right? That's kind of a motivation, scientific motivation to conduct this study, justification to conduct this study. That is a problem statement, okay? And then significance is not just the research itself. Again, here, contribution to the scientific field, as well as, for example, this case is public health. You want to do research to improve or protect public health, right? So you need to think about how your data can help, the government to make a decision to improve or protect the people from COVID-19. Okay, how your data can suggest, help, manufacture for the mask to develop. So have to contribute to the, society. And then innovation. Innovation is all about how unique project is. I know the Indonesian faculty, you can write a report to the government, but then governmental report and scientific writing are different. Okay, because if you just present data, and let's say data in Surabaya, okay, and if we just talk about Surabaya, people in Bangun, people in Makassar, they don't care at all. So, but you have to actually explain, even our unique data can be utilized for other people in other area. So innovative design and outcome. Okay, let's say we talked about that. You cannot have a buying standard method. It's very expensive, for example, but then you can use alternative and then cheap method can produce similar quality of data. That is your innovation. Okay, especially this is very important for low and middle income country. Okay, advice on writing innovation. Again, you have to do literature review to understand, what kind of study already done earlier, and then you have to describe how your application are different from current study, or how innovative, how novel your methodology is. Okay, let's say some technology has been used for, let's say, biology, but then can we use technology for, chemistry, for example? Totally, I just made up, but then so that is innovative, approach, right, beyond the disciplinary. Okay, advance, advice, not advice, advice of writing. I'm sorry, this is typo, not advance, advice on writing significance. Uh, you know, it is important for you to understand, leader. This is because a proposal is meant to share with somebody else, not you. So make sure people understand what you want to do, okay, and then how important it is, okay. So you have to show your idea clearly, and also you have to show the implication of your data to public health. Once you go through the aim, significance, and the innovation, then this is approach. I know that some of you mentioned, so approach is actually talking about the methodology. Methodology, you can say material method. Okay, this is a approach, how you want to do. Okay, so you want to show that project design. Okay, study site. This is very important. Just because you are in Surabaya, and you cannot just keep saying, "Oh, we did that study in Surabaya." That's not justification. You have to say Surabaya was, very important, different from other. This is unique. This is everywhere. Every time I go to, a workshop, student and faculty say, "Oh, we did the study because we live here." That's not for research internationally. Think about, you are writing international journal. No one knows your location. And then, I'm sorry, no one care about your location too, right? So you have to show, hey, this study site is unique. That's why you are doing. Okay, so you want to kind of justify why you study your project in your area. Okay, so data collection can be, again, some, people, survey or environmental sample. Again, you need to make sure sample size is enough. Okay, and then data, you need to actually show how do you collect. If it's epidemiologic study, that's a randomized control sample to the snowball sample to convenience sample. In the reality, we can do only randomized sample for the experimental design. But then so it's gonna be always convenience sample. But then reviewer always say, why did you do this? So you want to justify why you did this methodology, right? And then approach. You have an objective and specific aim. All method have to design to answer those specific aims. Okay, you have like specific aim 1, 2, 3. You should have a method 1, 2, 3 to answer those question or aim. And then project, approach should, especially this is, 2-page proposal. You need to think about simple timeline. Can you do this project in 1 year, 2 year, or how many months you need to do? Okay, I know that master thesis is just 1 year, right? 1 year maybe include writing, so maybe you have to do in one half, like 6 months. So 6 months you have to collect data and analyze and then writing. So you have to think about timeline. Speaking of timeline, wet season versus dry season, they are different for human health, different, vector-borne disease, different weather, flooding, hurricane. I mean, not hurricane, usually typhoon. Okay, so timing is very important. So you have to think about when do you collect data, right? And then I'm going to just share with you, several projects, I have done, and it's low budget project instead of using, billion rupiah. Right? This is low budget project. Right? Just to show you that there are many different study you can do. Reviewing, those are not my area of it's not fun, but it's good to read. Descriptive study, correlative study, to risk assessment, semi-experimental, experimental. You can do different projects. That picture you are showing you. So they are evaluating PM, evaluate air pollution from traffic, and then compare with the respiratory infection from Puskesmas. So we do that also environmental monitoring put with epidemiologic data, and the picture bottom of that is tobacco smoking. That is a huge issue. Okay, over 70% of adult males smoke, while only 3-5% of women smoke. And then tobacco smoking accepted among male, but not accepted in female. Okay, based on our study, many women know tobacco smoking is bad for you, but then when women or mother, wife ask, her husband not to smoke, our study showed that over 70% of husbands are upset because they don't want to be, called the wife to stop smoking. So this is gender, not equality. Okay, we have to have a voice from women, equal voice, and then those kind of things we can do many different projects without, spending a lot of money. Since already time, so I'm just, showing you. So yes, different study you can do if you want to understand the overall situation. You can do those in reviewing, meta-analysis, systematic review. Those are based on secondary information. But then for you, you can do descriptive study. Can be case study to evaluation, like monitoring, case survey. Those are descriptive study. And then if you want to evaluate, association or control some risk, you want to see the, risk factor, public health or environmental health is all about identify modifiable risk factor, right? You want to prevent disease, you want to prevent illness or injury. You want to know risk factor by those, the epidemiologic approach, called study case control, cross-sectional, longitudinal. You can do different. But then if you have limited time, cross-sectional, case control, that is a, easiest way and fastest ways you can do. And then those require a lot of survey. We are started using, offline, online survey. So those are useful during, pandemic. And then you can do also risk assessment. Risk assessment is, not much cost. If you can access some data, you can crunch number, And then I had, I just learned that you don't do much experiment or, that because you don't have a lab. But then if you work with outside your faculty, okay, you can maybe do some experimental study too. You can work with medical, area, tropical medicine, or you can work with engineer, or chemistry, microbiology. You can do some semi-experimental or experimental, right? So again, so I'm going to show you some of my low budget project. So this is a WASH project. WASH stands for water sanitation and hygiene. So we did in this Makassar. So we evaluated the modifiable risk factor of childhood disease, childhood diarrhea. As you know, diarrhea is a leading cause of death among children under 5, based on our epidemiologic study for WASH. If mother don't wash hand without soap, wash hand without soap after defecation, their children are almost 5 times more likely to develop diarrhea. If household don't access to improved source of drinking water, okay, their children are 4 times more likely to develop diarrhea. If household is low income family, their children are 3 times more likely to develop diarrhea. So this is a WASH project. Okay, so WASH is environmental health. And you can actually do WASH project using epidemiologic approach. Okay, and then so this is so this study using multiple method. Okay, for one study. So this is measuring actually PM and also potential how to reduce air pollution or impact. So I don't know Surabaya. Do you monitor air quality in Surabaya? The government monitor air quality every day, do they have
we do have like air quality monitoring instruments, which is located in several parts of Surabaya.
Okay, so you can access those data.
And not actually, we have to like provide proposal and like permission from the authoritative maybe environmental office.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
We can access the data. That's okay. We can access the data about environmental health ministry or health ministry. Inshallah kita bisa.
Oh, great. So if you can access, you don't have to do, we actually analyze, actually we monitor air pollution because Makassar don't have a air monitoring station. Actually we measure and we monitor air quality from morning to evening and different day. And then we created, quantum map, pollution map. And then we measure actually, air pollution association between air pollution and respiratory illness. Okay, that is actually here. This is a beautiful curve. X-axis is average concentration of PM10 in Puskesmas. I know the word Puskesmas. So Puskesmas is kind of representing the township, right? Then y-axis is the incidence rate of respiratory illness. So this is a beautiful curve. Actually, people living in the high area of air pollution are developing, respiratory illness. Based on this, we can actually suggest, hey, Makassar or hey, Surabaya have to monitor air quality, and if the concentration of air pollution is, hazardous, they have to start regulating the, car emission. So we can actually communicate with decision maker. Okay, and this is very, low cost. Yeah, we did, this is actually exposure assessment, not just, monitoring air pollution. You actually conduct the simulation, okay? Depending on the type of, more automobile from car to, I know different language, but you say, in Makassar, they say pete pete, right? Those minibus, right? And then, motorcycle, how much they are exposed to air pollution are different by, different type of, transportation. And then age affect exposure. So children, x-axis is the age of children. Children are extremely dangerous because of their body mass and inhalation rate. So even adults are safe. It's not mean children are safe. So not just monitoring air pollution, you have to do kind of exposure assessment too. This is computation. It's and then this is like a field experiment we did. It is kind of timely. We tested efficacy of wearing different type of mask. From a surgical mask, bandana, biker mask. I tested hijabi. I know some people who wear hijabi, put on the face, doesn't help you. Okay, so people think, oh, I put hijabi on face, it's covering. It doesn't help you from PM 2.5 or 10. It doesn't help you from COVID-19. Okay, so you can actually show the evidence, right? Then health promotion can actually use your data to promote public. Hey, you have to wear more appropriate, mask, right? So then this is another study we did in the, I know some of you are interested in the solid waste, management. We promote recycling, but then recycling is not a good way in Indonesia. Okay, you don't recycle appropriately, right? You just rely on the waste picker. They are poor people collecting recycled material from a dumpster. This is not acceptable recycling situation. You can evaluate and you can show to the decision maker to improve the recycling system. Recycling is actually good business if you know how to do, right? And then you can do risk assessment. So this is just risk assessment for microbial risk assessment. And then you don't do just risk assessment. I typically use risk assessment to propose some kind of guideline or standard. So what is a safe level of contamination? In this case, like beach sand. And then this is another one, like, what is a safe level of, chemical in rice? Okay, rice contain many arsenic. Children or infant eating rice contain arsenic. That could be potentially dangerous. So you conduct the risk and then you propose standard so government can regulate. I also did that those disaster response and evaluated impact of earthquake, tsunami, and radiation explosion at the nuclear power plant in Japan. So this is also low budget. I just carry the Geiger meter that can measure radiation and then drive around and measure some waste material too. And then also I use some instrument to measure heavy metal contamination. So this is also feasible. So this you cannot make a plan much because of disaster response, but then Indonesia encounter many disaster. You can prepare for a potential future disaster. Okay, so those I just show you, you can do because you are, expert in environment health and public health. Okay, use your imagination and creativity to design effective but then low cost. Okay. That's it for today. But then, do you have any question?
Thank you, Professor. Okay, dear participant, maybe you have any question, you can just open your video or maybe just ask directly, or if not possible, you can just put it in the chat room, your question.
Yeah, please feel free to email me. My email tshibat@ghlab.org or tshibat@niu.edu, and you can connect me ResearchGate and the Facebook page and the Instagram. You have any question? I can answer you. Okay, stop.
Monggo silakan Bapak Ibu, jika ada pertanyaan boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Yeah, you can ask question in Bahasa Indonesia, and then Zida can translate.
Okay. Okay. Maybe while we are waiting the question from the audience, can I start with my question, Professor, about the quality of data? You highlight that the quality of data is important, as this is the thing that reviewer put attention more about it. And how about if the research already done, everything is already finished, and it's but unfortunately, during our research we only get few number of participant or few number of samples, and how to make our writing still impressive, even though it is we are using small data. Is it still possible or not?
Okay, so it depends. So that is why I showed you the kind of list, make a list of the like student, professor, and the thesis, and then you want to actually see the collaboration, because you have many professor and lecturer, and you have many student to mentor. Some student, your student could be conducting research very similar to another faculty's, another professor's student. Okay, so it could happen. Very similar project, any similar study site. So if like one student project is not good enough, the data is not good enough, but then think about can you combine? Okay, yes, say one student collected like 2 sample, and another student collected 3 sample, another student collected more sample. Can you combine? So it is important for you to, but those are kind of afterward. Okay, you need to think about like we don't want to waste your energy if you are doing the same thing, but then in order to improve productivity, you want to think. I know, because the student has a limited capacity to conduct research, right? So in that case, you may want to actually design. This student can do this, for example, collect data from summer. Another student collect data from, wet season, and another student collect the dry season. But then those are actually good for their species. But then it's not good for example, research paper. But then in that case, we can combine as a one manuscript, but then students still write pieces for individually. So you need to actually think about how students work. It's almost I've been actually helping teachers from teacher and student from ITB and not ITB and UNHAS, Makassar. It's so hard. Student can publish, almost I would say impossible. Okay, so you cannot ask student to publish, because even professor cannot do that. So it is important for professor to kind of facilitate student role and design. So make a teamwork. Still a small project can be good for thesis, but then piece by piece. Let's say I showed you about the specific game, right? If you have a 3 specific aim for one project, you can have a 3 student, for example, right? Then specific aim can be good enough for thesis, but then when you submit manuscript, you may need actually 3 aim or project into one, right? So that those are, you have to design at beginning to assign student, right? And then I don't know about Erlanger University. I know that ITB student write thesis in Bahasa Indonesian, then write in English. Do you do the same thing?
Yeah, we do the same thing actually.
So I would recommend again, if university are pushing faculty student to improve publication in international journal, yeah, you may have a maybe we want to give a student option. If you actually write in English, okay, you don't have to write in Bahasa Indonesia, because writing in translation is totally different. You have to start writing from English, not the Bahasa Indonesia. Because again, your writing is like this. But English, you can write this. Okay, so I talked to the, I have, my friend is good to actually, head of the environmental engineering at ITB, and I talked to the rector of ITB. If you want to improve their, publication from student or faculty, have to change the thesis. And the thesis should be publication format instead of writing book. I know that, student write like 100 pages of a thesis. No one read. No one read. All book were in the cabinet, right? That's not the dissemination. Dissemination is supposed to share. Okay, so thesis, so I recommend that to change the thesis format to manuscript format. Then you can actually improve the productivity, because thesis you are wasting a lot of time to write general FITZ you don't need for manuscript.
Okay, thank you, Professor. I think it's very clear. And actually, we already come to the end of this session, because we have limited time to have this guest lecture. And I can summarize some of your presentation that there are many indicators to identify reputable journal. We can use impact factor and SGR. That each of them has strengths and limitations. We have to notice about that. And also, there are many concerns from reviewers of the journal if we submit it to them. So we have to put attention more about the scope of the journal itself, and we have to concern about the quality of our data and what is the contribution of our results to our community and the scientific field. And the last thing is that we need to have clear story in English. And also, as you mentioned last time, that scientific writing is supposed to be straight away. It doesn't have to be like spider, as we need to communicate everything in an efficient way in scientific writing. And last, there is research results supposed to be disseminated, not to be kept by everyone. So I think that's all. Okay, before we close this session, I would like to inform you that there will be certificate will be given by Ibu Lilis as the head of department by virtually. And now I would like to close the presentation and discussion from Professor Tomoyuki Shibata. Thank you, Professor. We look forward to have you again in the future, in the next collaboration, maybe joint publication and research, hopefully. Okay, thank you for everyone who are coming for today. I do apologize for any maybe inconvenience caused by maybe because this online meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please Mbak Isnaini. Thank you.
Bye bye. Jalan-jalan.
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 Makan-makan.
Makan-makan.
Baik, Terima kasih kepada Ibu Zida Husnina SKM MPH yang telah memandu materi diskusi dan tanya jawab. Saya ingatkan kembali kepada para peserta guest lecture yang ingin mendapatkan sertifikat dan materi dimohon untuk mengisi evaluation form setelah acara ini berakhir. Materi presentasi narasumber akan kami kirimkan bersama dengan sertifikat ke email masing-masing peserta guest lecture yang telah mengisi presensi dan evaluation form. Memasuki acara selanjutnya, yakni penyerahan sertifikat oleh Ibu Dr. Insinyur Lilis Sulistiorini MKes, selaku Ketua Departemen Kesehatan Lingkungan, Fakultas Kesehatan Masyarakat Universitas Erlangga kepada Bapak Prof. Tomoyuki Shibata. Kepada Bu Lilis, kami persilahkan, Bu.
Ya, akan di-share sama ini ya, sama siapa?
Sudah terlihat, Bu?
Sudah kelihatan ya?
Sudah.
Oh, cute.
Mr. Shibata, thank you very much for your very interesting explanation. On this occasion, I will hand over a certificate to you as a speaker in this guest lecture. Thank you, Mr. Shibata.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Hopefully, I help you a little bit, and then hope to see you soon.
Terima kasih kepada Ibu Lilis atas penyerahan sertifikatnya. Acara selanjutnya yaitu penutup dan pembacaan doa. Pembacaan doa akan dipimpin oleh rekan kami kepada Saudara Ahmed Ayatullah SKM. Kami persilahkan.
Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mari kita tundukkan kepala sejenak seraya memohon ampun kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala, dan semoga apa yang kita lakukan pada hari ini diberkahi. Kita akhiri kegiatan hari ini dengan istighfar dan doa kafaratul majelis. Astagfirullah, astagfirullah, astagfirullah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik asyhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.
Terima kasih kepada Ahmed Ayatullah SKM. Alhamdulillah kita telah sampai di penghujung acara. Kami ucapkan terima kasih kepada narasumber, moderator, serta para peserta yang telah menyimak acara ini mulai dari awal hingga akhir. Semoga ilmu yang didapat pada hari ini dapat berguna dan dapat kita aplikasikan. Sebelum kami tutup, kepada panitia dan narasumber, mohon kesediaannya untuk sesi foto bersama sebagai dokumentasi acara. Dimohon untuk segera mengambil posisi foto kepada rekan yang bertugas. Saya persilahkan.
Before close, we take picture from Shibata.
Yes.
Yeah, we take picture together. Just
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Everyone turn on the camera.
Terima kasih. Saya mewakili panitia yang bertugas menyampaikan mohon maaf apabila ada kata-kata atau perbuatan yang kurang berkenan. Saya sebagai MC pamit undur diri. Sampai jumpa di acara guest lecture selanjutnya. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Prof. Shibata, thank you very much.
You're welcome. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Prof. Shibata. After this, we can have a group maybe next time. We will make like an article, maybe original article or review article. We can join publication together.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Our team in University of Erlangga and Professor Prof. Shibata. Maybe after this we can join publication. Are you okay?
Yes, like
okay, thank you so much.
Do the original research.
Yeah. Maybe first, I have after this I want to send to you about my original article, and then Professor Shibata can review our article, and then after this you review, we can submit to journal reputation in international journal, I think.
Yeah, but you know, I
After
think
you review our article.
I told I'm willing